When John and Marcy Palinkas first moved to Hillsborough more than 20 years ago, they were more concerned with finding the right house than with the location, even though living in this central New Jersey township meant Mr. Palinkas would have a 2-hour work commute each day. As it turned out, location mattered more than they had realized. Although Mr. Palinkas now has a home-based digital consulting business that allows him to live anywhere, he and his wife decided to buy again recently in Hillsborough when it came time to downsize from their 4-bedroom Center Hall colonial. The couple, now in their 60s, had checked out active adult communities in Delaware and Southern California, but opted to remain in Hillsborough so that Mrs. Palinkas, a retired insurance rater, could run the township's senior programs and food pantry. She had started out volunteering in the township's social services department and eventually landed a permanent job. She's doing the job she always wanted, Mr. Palinkas said. And because she's there, she's made a lot of connections with the township we never had before. Now we know a ton of people. The Palinkases represent one end of the population spectrum who have aged through this sprawling Somerset County community. Hillsborough has grown significantly over the last few decades, increasing to almost 40,000 residents today from 11,000 in 1970. The housing stock has kept a pace as well. In the 1970s and 80s there was an infusion of townhouse and condominium developments. By the 90s, local builders were focused on single-family houses, reflecting demand for more space from growing families. A 700-acre former dairy farm was turned into a country classics development, with a total of 842 homes. It is now in its final phase of building, according to Danielle Tampier, the company's marketing coordinator. Nowadays, some older residents are returning to the townhouses, while others are investigating new adult communities like Gateway at Roycebrook. In June 2016, Mr. and Mrs. Palinkas paid $604,000 for a 3-bedroom house in a gated 55-plus section there, after selling a 3,800-square-foot country classics house they bought in 1997 for $430,000. Younger families are also discovering Hillsborough. Panal and Abhay Shah and their 2 daughters, seeking more space and good schools, and wanting to remain close to their Jain temple in Somerset, moved in 2014 from a townhouse in Somerset to a 4-bedroom colonial on an acre in Hillsborough's west side. They purchased their house for $541,000. The lifestyle is pretty urban, and the schools in town are quite high-tech, but when you come out and see the farms, you realize it's really rural, said Mrs. Shah, 40, a pharmaceutical chemist. Right outside our house is a huge farm and the big mountain. We watch the sun set there each evening. It's very pretty. Sourland Mountain to the west, and the Delaware and Raritan Canal and Millstone River to the east, serve as the natural borders of Hillsborough. The town's most distinguishing marker, however, is the line that runs down its middle, Route 206. This north-south highway is the commercial spine of Hillsborough, with numerous shopping plazas, big box stores, and individual and chain restaurants lining both sides. It is also the bane of many drivers' existence as they crawl from one intersection to the next on a busy Saturday afternoon. Once meant to be a 2-lane highway serving New Jersey's more rural areas, the stretch of Route 206 between Somerville and Princeton has become a major thoroughfare as towns like Hillsborough and neighboring Montgomery become increasingly populated. Plans to build a Route 206 bypass have been in the works since 1974, and a stretch of that 1.66-mile bypass was built in the early 2010s, but the project was halted in 2015 because of local opposition and a lack of funding. Hillsborough Deputy Mayor Gloria McCauley said the project is scheduled to resume in 2018, and will hopefully be completed by 2020. By then, Ms. McCauley said, Hillsborough should be better able to compete for business against bigger towns like Bridgewater and Somerville. For now, the highway serves as an unofficial dividing line, with larger properties, including older working farms, occupying the west side, and most of the newer homes, including the Country Classics development, on the east side. The more concentrated multifamily housing is found in the central and north sections of town. Jacqueline Heron, an agent with Coldwell Banker who has owned 3 homes in Hillsborough, said that besides the school system, buyers are drawn to Hillsborough for its inclusiveness and diversity. There's a great sense of community. There are tons of sports programs, all run by volunteers, said Ms. Heron, who volunteered as the Pop Warner cheerleading coach for 7 years. There are currently 116 properties on the market in Hillsborough, about a third of which are townhouses or condominiums, according to Carl von Lowy, an associate broker with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services in Hillsborough. The median selling price of homes in 2017 was $318,000. Down from $335,000 in 2016. Mr. von Lowy attributed the drop to increased activity at the lower end of the market last year. The highest priced home on the market right now is a 5-bedroom 1,720 farmhouse on 3 acres, listed at $1.199 million. The lowest priced is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom 1985 townhouse being sold as is for $94,000. Houses in the Country Classics development typically list in the $700,000s to high $900,000s. Townhouses range from $250,000 to $300,000. While monthly rentals go from $1,200 for a 2-bedroom apartment in one of the older developments to $2,895 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse in Sunnymead Run. Sports fields abound, according to Deputy Mayor McCauley, who took part in last April's ceremonial opening of the 369-acre Mountain View Park, a former federal storage site, which added state-of-the-art ball fields. The 4,000-acre Sourland Mountain Preserve offers more passive recreation, like biking and hiking trails and a stocked fishing pond. Hillsborough's crown jewel is Duke Farms. It was once home to the tobacco and power tycoon James Buchanan Duke and his daughter, Doris, and is now a 1,000-acre estate with barns, an orchid house and nature preserve, with trails and programs that are free to the public. For the less outdoorsy, the Bridgewater Mall is about 5 miles north, while downtown Princeton is a 15 to 20-minute drive south. The public school system has 6 elementary schools serving students from kindergarten through grade 4. Auden Road Intermediate School is for 5th and 6th graders, while Hillsborough Middle School serves 7th and 8th graders. Hillsborough High School has 2,420 students in grades 9 through 12. Beginning in the 3rd grade, all students are provided their own Chrome ebooks, supplied by the district. The high school offers 29 interscholastic sports programs, and more than 80 extracurricular activities, including marching and concert bands, regionally and nationally competitive debate and robotics teams, and a model peer mentoring program. For private schooling, the Immaculate Conception School in Somerville serves 460 students from pre-kindergarten to grade 8. For the 2015-16 year, The average SAT reading score for Hillsborough High School was 599 and the average math score was 614, as compared with the state averages of 537 and 538. Hillsborough is around 50 miles southwest of Midtown Manhattan, and takes about 1.5 hours to drive via Interstates 287 and 95. The town has no train station. Commuters to Penn Station have a couple of options. They can take a New Jersey Transit train from Bridgewater, NJ, with a change in Newark, which takes about 80 minutes and costs $14.75 one way, or $421 for a monthly pass, or they can go direct from New Brunswick to Penn Station in about an hour for $14 one way, or $393 monthly. In October 2016, Suburban Transit added a daily express bus route from Hillsborough, making 4 stops in New York City. Every half hour from 6 to 7:30 a.m., buses depart from the Hillsborough Promenade Shopping Center, with 4 returning from the city each evening, starting at 4:30 p.m. The trip takes about an hour and 20 minutes and costs $15 one way, or $420 for a monthly pass. Encamped in Sourland Mountain during the Revolutionary War, General George Washington ran drills with his soldiers using corn stalks as pretend guns. This fooled the British into thinking the colonists had received reinforcement troops and weapons, and caused them to retreat to New Brunswick.